us the best machines that they can produce to endure tough climate.
$4.5 billion agriculture mechanization support program in the offing.
What they presented before my committee for 2016, we have gone on and see things by ourselves.
Heightened pace of budget defense in the National Assembly. Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi stresses a focus on transportation in 2017. And Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt nullifies appointment of the Makarfi-led caretaker committee, upholds Alimodi Sharif-led executive of PDP. A warm welcome to NTA Network News. I am Elizabeth Banu and we are reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has rescheduled his visit to Ondo State to Monday, 20th February 2017. The trip is in continuation of a tour of oil-producing communities. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the President, Office of the Vice President Laolu Akonde, said the acting president was already airborne Friday morning when weather reports indicated dust haze and poor visibility at the Akure Airport and alternatives at nearby airports. The presidency has apologized to the state governor, the governor-elect, traditional rulers and the people of Ondo State who had been waiting for the acting president. Nigeria is expected to benefit from a $4.5 billion agriculture mechanization support program, courtesy of President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to China in March 2016. To this end, a meeting between the Minister of Agriculture, state governors and officials of China-Africa Machinery Corporation has held in Abuja. Abdullah Garba has details.
An open discussion between the Minister of Agriculture, members of the Governors Forum and the Chinese manufacturers to finalize arrangements towards signing an agreement. They discussed the recommendations of the technical team, which put counterpart funding at 10%, the loan sharing formula and a 20 years repayable period of the loan. Emphasis at the meeting was on quality of the equipment to suit Nigeria's quest for agricultural revolution.
Our Chinese partners can give us the best machines that they can produce to endure tough climate, endure the soil, and endure the traditional carelessness of our tractor operators.
Chinese people are ready, Chinese government are ready, and then we are trying to ascertain the equipment and the prices and how favorably the loan is going to pay back everyone in Nigeria.
One of the reasons why our youths are very discouraged about agriculture is the issue of massive labor. So that's what the Honourable Minister is addressing.
The loan facility will assist the states in the provision of tractors and other farm implements.
It means that we can do farming competitively well, and in addition to mechanization, there is also provision for the whole agri-value chain.
In addition to what we are importing from China, the chairman led us to also demand from the Chinese that we should be able to pay them with agricultural produce.
In another development, the Minister of Agriculture, Chief Audu Obe, has inaugurated a 10-member working group on the reintegration of 3 federal universities of agriculture into the ministry as approved by the federal government. The group has Professor Bola Jade Ayula as team leader. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Brununkudu, NTA News.
The National Economic Council at its latest meeting expressed concern over the current exchange rate following a brief presentation on the forex policy options by the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. The council's meeting, presided over by Acting President Yemi Osinbajo, with the 36 state governors in attendance, therefore directed the CBN to facilitate an urgent review of the current foreign exchange policy. The aim is to cushion the suffering of Nigerians and reduce the gap between the interbank and parallel markets. The CBN governor has asked Nigerians to be patient as the Apex Bank continues to take steps to stabilize the market. Another major decision taken was the approval to inject $250 million into the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun, who made this known to newsmen, explained that the amount will be drawn from the excess crude account.
I also gave an update on the budget support states and confirmed that the 8 accounting firms appointed have actually started their verification work.
And joining us to analyze these issues is Professor Ken Ife, lead consultant and chief economic strategist, ECOWAS Commission. You're welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Now, the Naira exchange rate to foreign currencies is Nigeria's nightmare. And the National Economic Council has directed the CBN to review the policy. Tell us your expectations.
Well, we need to be in a position to reconcile the demand and supply for foreign exchange. And my view is that the CBN group that is going to work on this should actually look very carefully at the supply side, because there has been consistent failure on the macroprudential measures that didn't quite encourage even people who have domiciliary accounts, exporters, to continue to patronize. But there are also capital account issues which led to our delisting from some of the JP Morgan and all that. But the foreign investment, foreign direct investment component of the supply side of the currency is one that is not materializing because they are watching the market condition, and exacerbated by the inflation and the fact that we are in recession, and both the aggregate demand and the aggregate supply issues are not really being addressed. So they are worried. So they can't come as much as even the domestic investors are holding back on their investments. But on the demand side, the bank really needs to talk more to other players. You know, they hold on to monetary policy, and I can understand it's their constituency, it's their core. They have to talk to others. Fiscal policy is with the Minister of Finance. Trade policy, industrial policy, investment policy, and exportation policy. All these other policies, they need to come together to work together. Otherwise, we're just going to be here for a very long time to come, and you will see light in the end of the tunnel. It requires far more coordination of complementary policies.
And how do you think that?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, okay. Now, still talking about the some of the steps that government intends to take now, injecting $250 million into the market, and and that is going to be taken from the Sovereign Wealth Fund.
Sovereign Wealth Fund, yes. I think it's good. It's good because the Sovereign Wealth Fund is looking at more domestic investment, especially in the growth areas. So if they are doing that and they are promising they're going to focus on that in the 2017, then it does make sense that NEC is allowing more accretion to the Sovereign Wealth Fund through the excess crude accounts. So it does make sense. It encourages them. You're giving them much more money to lend to the domestic sector.
How will that impact in the Nigerian market now?
Sorry?
How will it impact, the Nigerian economy?
Definitely. We desperately need dollars. And it's needed by every sector of the economy. The manufacturing sector, about 80% of them depend on imported raw materials. Okay. And I had expected again that part of the actions on the demand side, the supply side of the forex, is to get them, galvanize them, so that we can do more effective backward integration policy. But be as it may, it's very important that more resources can target those growth areas, so that they can actually explore their potentials, and I think is a very good news.
Okay, with these steps, you believe Nigeria will be able to, get out of recession?
Well, I wouldn't say that because there are 5 major pillars that underpin recession, and there are actions here and there. But we do need a Marshall Plan that looks at capturing all the dimensions of the recession. At the moment, I haven't actually seen one. And it's important that we do so very, very quickly. But the Assembly should actually start by giving us the budget so that we can start spending.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ken, for coming on NTA Network News to share your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt has nullified the appointment of the Ahmed Makarfi-led caretaker committee of the People's Democratic Party and upheld the Ali Modu Sharif-led executive of the party. Kingsley Amajiri has the report.
The lead held that the PDP violated the provisions of its own constitution and also disobeyed a valid court order before holding the said Port Harcourt National Convention of the party. The court ordered that the status quo as at May 18, 2016 be maintained. The court went further to declare all action taken at the convention as invalid, adding that the appeal brought by Senator Ali Modu Sharif has merit. It awarded a cost of 100,000 naira in favor of the appellant. The judgment of the two lead justices added that the PDP convention that produced Senator Makarfi-led caretaker committee ought to have given a notice of 2 months before the convention.
It's a split decision, but majority carries the day. We are disappointed that we have not been able to persuade enough numbers.
The judgment is a welcome development to our judicial jurisprudence and the rule of law.
The lead judgment not only nullified the actions taken at the Port Harcourt Convention of May 21st, 2016, but also nullified and set aside the decision of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, which recognized the Ahmed Makarfi-led committee of the PDP. Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party Board of Trustees Chairman, Senator Walid Jibril, and the sacked caretaker committee chairman, Senator Ahmed Makarfi, have reacted to the Port Harcourt Appeal Court judgment. The two leaders appealed to the party members to remain calm as consultations are on to take a decision on the next line of action. The Nigerian military has foiled multiple suicide bomb attacks by Boko Haram terrorists Thursday night at a checkpoint on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Mohammed Ibrahim reports.
The explosion, which was first heard around 11:30 on Thursday night, continued intermittently, and the last one was heard around 5 o'clock in the early hours of today. The first suicide bomber sneaked into the midst of loaded trucks along Maiduguri-Mafa Road, awaiting departure to Gamborungala in the early hours of Friday, and detonated IEDs strapped on her. The resultant explosion raised down all the parked vehicles. The rest of the suicide bombers then went further in a golf car laden with explosives, trying to get access into Maiduguri, when at the first checkpoint at the outskirts, the military sighted them and started firing to stop them, and they were destroyed into pieces.
The vehicle detonated close to our checkpoint and fired RPG and some shots to distract our attention so that the suicide bombers can go inside the town.
Two other female suicide bombers that came right into this village called Geleri, just at the outskirts of the metropolis, also died instantly following the detonation of their IEDs, while the civilian JTF tried to stop them, thereby injuring 8 of them.
The military repelled suicide bomber.
Meanwhile, Governor Kashim Shettima had, while sympathizing with the victims, directed that the list of the affected vehicles be submitted to him through the member representing Dikwa for intervention. He also visited the scene of the encounter between the insurgents and the Nigerian army, where the terrorists attempted to the state capital and the victims receiving treatment at the UMTH. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lowell, has assured the government of Sierra Leone that Nigeria will give all necessary support to the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority in accordance with the agreement signed by both countries in 2012. He stated this while receiving a delegation of the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority. Aliu Tukur has details.
Road Safety Authority delegation is in the country to understudy the Federal Road Safety Corps members were taken to the office of the SGF by Co-Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi. Apart from deploying manpower to Sierra Leone as soon as possible to resume implementation of the agreement, The SGF also urged the agency to forward the details of the support required early to Nigeria so that the demands can be looked into without delay.
I can assure you that we'll do everything possible to make sure the technical support, at least in human resource terms, return as soon as the logistics are completed on this end.
The executive director of the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, Dr. Sarah Bendwe, expressed appreciation to Nigeria for support extended to her country in education, military and health sectors and during the Ebola epidemic. Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Today has been a happy day for patients and management of various public hospitals across the Federal Capital Territory as they received gift items from the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, as she marks her birthday. The gesture, according to the Senior Special Assistant to wife of the President, Dr. Hajjasani, was a special way to show love and care to Nigerians, especially women, children, and the less privileged. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Touching lives of people, especially women and children, is the passion of the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. To that regard, she decided to send a delegation to reach to the public hospitals within the Federal Capital Territory to mark her birthday, which is on every 17th of February.
Oh, you are living today.
The first port of call was the Asokoro District Hospital, where the delegation was received by the medical director, Dr. Abubakar Ahmadu, who led them to various wards, including pediatric and children wards. The items presented comprise these baby kits, food items, and other essential commodities. In an appreciation, the medical director, who congratulated Mrs. Buhari, her birthday, assured her of his readiness to remain committed in his service to humanity.
We are really delighted that we were among the few hospitals that were chosen to mark this special occasion. All we can say is we wish the First Lady a very happy birthday, wishing her the very best.
Other places visited by the delegation include Garki, Wuse, as well as Maritime district hospitals. Presenting the gift items to the patient at Garki on behalf of the wife of the President, the Senior Special Assistant, Dr. Hajjasani, who expressed delight with the attention the patients are receiving by the hospital management, explained that the gesture is to put a smile on the faces of Nigerians, especially women and children.
It's just humanitarian services, as you are aware of, which is part of her. That is her life. She wants to touch people's life, especially the less privileged. She wants everybody to feel her at whatever level. So she has come to this level for even people who are sick in the hospital. We remember that they have a wife of the president who is very concerned about human life and humanity in general.
The medical director of the hospital expressed delight with the visit.
We appreciate the gesture, we appreciate her love, and we know that she cares about the people of Nigeria.
The patients, who are in a stable condition, could not hide their happiness.
We want to appreciate the wife of our dear president for these kind gestures, for showing care to the people in the hospital, and we wish her long life, good health and prosperity.
I'm very grateful. It's not every time you receive something from the presidency. So I wish her all the best, long life, good health.
In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Spate of budget defense in the National Assembly heightens. Transportation Minister Rotimi Amechi stresses a focus on the sector in 2017. We'll bring you budget defense sessions and more after the break. Stay with us.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list, starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliamp battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge.
Gioni M6, always in power.
What makes a Niger mom powerful?
I encourage my kids to learn new things. And if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's One Capful. To fight germs, it's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's One Capful to disinfect surfaces and clothes to keep them clean and safe from germs.
I trust the power of Dettol's One Capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's One Capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Millions of powerful Niger moms use the power of Dettol's One Capful to protect their families. Be a powerful Niger mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure.
The Future Assured project and its components, Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
This is to inform all fresh and continuing students and the general public that the 2017 session of the National Teachers Institute has commenced. The new portal for the PGDE, ADE, Bachelor's Degree and NCE is open for admission, registration and payment of fees at www.nti.edu.ng. The courses are duly approved by the relevant regulatory bodies. Applicants and continuing students can pay their fees either by their ATM cards or print RRR and go to any commercial bank to pay. Announcer Professor Garba Dahua Azari, Director General and Chief Executive, National Teachers Institute.
To the outer framers, the hat tippers, the turtleneckers, the fringe goers, you don't need to hide anymore. Try Dettol Even Tone. It cleans and helps to reduce the appearance of blemishes caused by oil, dirt and germs, giving your skin a healthy feel for an even better you. Dettol, be 100% sure.
Following the approval of the whistleblowers policy by the Federal Executive Council and its launch by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, patriotic Nigerians have been making inquiries on how and where they could deliver information that could lead to the stopping or uncovering of fraud to the appropriate authority and answers to frequently asked questions. The Federal Minister of Finance has therefore dedicated a telephone line for receiving SMS, a whistleblowers portal, and an email address through which members of the public who volunteer to disclose information about a possible misconduct or violation could deliver such information for the attention of the team dedicated to process such information.
you're just joining us, this is NTA Network News. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has described beauty pageantry as a catalyst for the creative industry, which needs to be supported in the quest of making it a viable economy. The minister stated this in Abuja when the chairman of Daily Times newspapers, Fidelis Anosike, presented the 40th Miss Nigeria, Chioma Obiadi, to the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Anthony Forson reports.
An integral part of the creative industry because the entire sector is often involved in organizing such shows.
I don't look at Miss Nigeria just from the viewpoint of, beautiful ladies, catwalk, and then saying who's more beautiful. I think it goes beyond that. It's a catalyst for the creative industry, and that's why it must be encouraged.
Tracing the history of beauty pageant in Nigeria to the medieval age, the minister said it is a veritable platform for tourism and showcasing the country's heritage and image. He pledged to provide the platform of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, to partner with the organizers of Miss Nigeria Beauty Pageant with a view to further deepen and popularize the event.
I believe that a partnership with the NTA in particular will probably put, the competition on a completely new pedestal.
In his remark, Chairman Daily Times newspapers, Fidelis Anosike, said the organization has been working hard to revive the Miss Nigeria pageant, which started in 1957 to provide a platform for the empowerment of young women.
For us, it's very critical for us to be here and present her formally and seek ways and means to be able to use this as a platform for both the change begins with new platform, and also we seek a proper recognition of her as a culture and tourism ambassador for the country.
Also speaking, the 40th Miss Nigeria, Chioma Obiadi, expressed her deep passion about Nigeria because of the country's rich cultural heritage and values, promising to promote them during her reign. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The federal government has marked transportation sector as a priority in 2017 as the ministry is proposing the sum of 216 billion naira for capital projects, which is the highest beside Power, Works and Housing Ministry. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi stressed this when he appeared before the House Committee on Land Transportation for 2017 Budget Defense. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports that the management of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, was also there.
Minister of Transportation said their 2017 budget will touch the lives of all Nigerians, adding that they are working to see that all ongoing projects are executed.
$30 billion was sent to the National Assembly and it was declined. In that $30 billion, was this $1.5 billion we are now asking them to approve for the Lagos Ibadan? If they approve it, we'll get 72 billion naira for counterpart funding. And this is the first time in the history of Nigeria where it is 100% counterpart funding. 100%.
We are doing all we can to see to it that what they have done, what they presented before my committee for 2016, we have gone on and see things by ourselves.
Committee Chairman Aminu Sani, who was pleased with the minister's presentation, stressed that they will visit some project sites to see their level of compliance. In another development, management of Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, was before the House Committee on Federal Character to intimate the committee of their compliance to Federal Character Principle. DG Ibn Mohammed told the committee that NTA has been providing television services to the Nigerian people since 1977, and all the 36 states of the Federation have always been effectively represented.
NTA is represented in every state of Nigeria and in most senatorial districts of every state in Nigeria. We do have the principle of federal character always guiding our recruitments or replacements.
We maintained the principle and the spirit of
the federal character of this.
Also, Minister of Communication Adebayo Shitu was at the House Committee on Communications, explaining that the ministry is leveraging on information and communication technology for national socio-economic development.
To connect Nigeria, using ICT, of course. 2, to connect Nigerians, to ensure local content development.
Nigerian money is well spent and spent well for what is being appropriated for.
Not satisfied with some of the figures, the committee requested for supporting documents on or before Monday next week. From the National Assembly, Ifani Izumba, NT News.
More on budget defense. The 2017 budget proposal by State House is structured to ensure completion of ongoing projects by consolidating the 2016 budget appropriation. Permanent Secretary of the State House, Jalal Arabi, explained at a budget defense before the Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Administrative activities of the State House in 2016 has an approved budget of 8 billion naira. Release on capital projects stands at about 52.2%. Permanent Secretary State House Jalal Arabi, while making comparative analysis on the reduction in this year's budget, said there is an increase in some proposals due to some factors, including the exchange rate and inflation.
Our 2017 capital expenditure budget contemplates only balances of unreleased 2016 appropriations, except, of course, for the routine villa maintenance, which has become sacrosanct.
We hope to meet with you again before we finally meet the appropriation committee so that we can sit together and know how to validate it.
The senators requested for submission of projects' level of completion and nominal role to ensure federal character principles are maintained. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
The Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation has realized about 10.4 million naira as internally generated revenue in 2016. Head of Service Winifred Oyoita made this known at a budget defense before the House Committee on Public Service Matters. Adebola Brooksley Sunday has details.
The Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, said the money was realized from the sale of unserviceable vehicles, tenders and rent of office spaces. She also made a proposal for 2017 budgets.
Under capital, we are proposing 924,890,324 naira.
Mrs. Oyoita also spoke on the strategies employed to ensure that affordability becomes the hallmark of the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program, FISH.
We, with the MDAs in the infrastructure sector, provide infrastructural services.
Chairman of the committee said the budget defense is to ensure transparency.
Is to expose corruption, inefficiency or waste in the institution.
So far, 8 private estate developers have signed memorandum of understanding with the FISH Secretariat. Adebola, Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
The Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, says accountability measures have been put in place to ensure efficient and judicious use of the 70 million naira European Union grant designed to boost the health sector. Implementation Committee meeting for the grant was held in Abuja. Health correspondent Rabi Abdullah has the report.
Meeting, which was presided over by the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency Executive Director. The implementing agency had members of the committee drawn from the benefiting states and other key players discussed the work plan as it concerns improving maternal, newborn and child health and other areas of intervention in the benefiting states.
There are mechanisms that allows for the responsible person based on the work plan to be called up and say, hey, what's going on? By this time, we're supposed to have maybe provided antenatal care services of the highest quality to 100 women. Why is this not happening? Accountability in terms of not only sanctions, but also rewarding high performance.
Efforts, he says, are being made to reposition the agency.
Our priority will be how we can create a system where people feel comfortable, where donors feel comfortable that if they put their money and match the funds that are being provided by the federal government, that the activities will be conducted with the highest degree of accountability.
Nigeria accounts for 10% of the world's maternal deaths. Just as child mortality remains a major challenge in the face of a weak health system. The EU grant is expected to go a long way in addressing these problems. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
Ahead of the forthcoming operation Haskebu at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, stakeholders have met to synergize on achieving desired results in the annual gathering of security experts. Ahmed Mohammed Usman reports.
Haskebu is an annual joint multi-agency training on internal security and low-intensive conflict. The meeting this time was convened to prepare adequately for the exercise scheduled for 26 March and to last for 3 weeks.
We have people from NTA, from Nigerian Union of Journalists, both as participants and as directing staff. We have DIA, we have SSS, all security agencies, all the stakeholders are brought together under the same roof to take part in the exercise.
Some of the participants speak on the role expected of their organizations.
NTA doesn't just broadcast or disseminate information, it manages information. So at a conference like this where we put our heads together and every stakeholder should come and inject certain things that will better the situation.
NDLA in joint operation like this, we take care of the drug, making sure that drug and drug-related or this is being mopped up.
So it is a very vital opportunity for us to mainstream human rights into all their own activities.
The exercise is to comprise lectures, discussions, and demonstration to create fictitious scenarios depicting insecurity in Nigeria. About 146 external participants are expected in the exercise. In Kaduna, Ahmad Muhammad Suman, NTA News.
The Ministerial Subcommittee for the Diversion of Airline Operations from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja to Kaduna has expressed satisfaction with the level of security preparations on ground to ensure safety of passengers within and outside Kaduna Airport premises. Chairman of the committee, Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, Alkali Baba Usman, made this known while inspecting facilities provided for security purpose at the airport. Mohammed Umar Ajengi reports.
The subcommittee, accompanied by officials from Kaduna State Government, went round the airport inspecting facilities provided to ensure smooth operations. Some security issues pointed out earlier have now been addressed, in addition to other measures adopted, like erecting of perimeter fence, deploying of more security personnel within the airport premises and around Kaduna metropolis. The chairman of the committee expressed satisfaction with the measures put in place at the strategic points along Kaduna-Abuja Expressway to add additional police checkpoints for safety of passengers.
All aspects of preparation in terms of security, we are 90% okay. That is to say, our level of deployment on the road has been assessed. We have earmarked where we are going to put in static points.
They don't want to come, so they want to create fear. Because as far as they are concerned, all the airport in the United Kingdom, apart from Heathrow and Gatwick, that you can land the aeroplane without seeing the ground, none of the airport in the United Kingdom that can be as high as this one. So as far as we are concerned, we are comfortable, we are happy about it.
The level of work indicates that the airport will be fully ready before the deadline, as the 500 capacity terminals building, protocol launch are almost completed. The runway is also in perfect shape. Ambulances and helicopters for patrol will also be provided along Kaduna-Abuja Highway. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Members of the National Assembly are in Lagos for a retreat on maritime and transport. Let's get details of this and business news as we join Vera in Lagos. It's over to you, Vera.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. A bold step to reposition the country's transportation systems and facilitate industrial and economic development has been initiated by the House of Representatives Committee on Ports, Harbours and Waterways in Lagos. The committee, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Transportation, has begun a two-day retreat aimed at attracting critical stakeholders in the sector. Musa Toliat reports.
An efficient transportation system is one of the critical drivers of trade and industry globally, attracting huge investments and modern technologies. In Nigeria, a big challenge towards achieving such a transportation system, as identified by speakers at the retreat, is lack of coordination in planning and investment, which has resulted in over-reliance on roads, while other means of transportation are grossly underdeveloped.
When we looked at Parliament at some of these issues, we traced some of the problems to the laws, some to the agreements that the previous governments have signed, which were committed. It was important that as Parliament, we don't just take a BRN without interacting with the stakeholders.
Minister of Transport, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, says government is open to new ideas and practical approaches towards achieving efficient transport system for Nigeria.
We claim our understanding and support on the efforts of the ministry to review and amend many of the moral laws and regulations.
Consistent investment, one. Number two, good policies that will bring about efficient management of this transport infrastructure.
I believe we are not bereft of policies or ideas. Implementation, that's a problem.
For a country that's determined to diversify its economy and fast-track development, speakers say new thinking and approaches towards integrated and efficient transport system must be achieved and sustained. The retreat is therefore expected to come out with practical suggestions. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
And moving on to business, stock market analysts canvasses the use of incentives to attract more companies to list on the capital market. This and more with Ablai Mohammed on Business News segment.
Hello, you're on to Business News. Though the Nigeria capital market has recorded few listings by some indigenous companies within the first quarter of 2017, analysts say the capital market regulator has to design and implement a set of effective incentives that will entice more companies to list on the capital market.
Ours is to make sure that any issuer in the market should see the capital market more attractive than going to the bank. So we're looking at ways and means that we can reduce the cost. Happily enough, a lot of work has been done. Very soon, by next week, our exposure rules will be out so that people can see the kind of structure that we're going to have in terms of the fee base.
The analyst suggested tax holidays as well as other instruments that will reduce operational cost as potent incentives.
For instance, differential tax policy, where listed companies pay lower corporate tax, or the dividend declared by dividend listed companies are exempted from withholding tax. Such will make the shareholders to compel their management to get listed.
Meanwhile, the Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union has reiterated its commitment to sustaining the supply of petroleum product across the country. The union, however, urged relevant authorities to consider the review of the existing freight rate with a view to cushion the effect of rising cost of spare parts of trucks.
If there's no any increment of freight rate, I'm telling you, most of the tanker owner will abandon their trucks. As we are talking now, the tire is now 110,000 naira. The tanker tire is now 110,000 naira. How can the owner make his money?
Transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed today with 480 million shares sold. This is valued at 1.97 million naira in 2,713 deals. All share index closed 25,164.91 points.
That's Business News. Thanks for being part of it. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the NTA Network News, reaching you live from the Lagos Network Center. We have more reports ahead of the news from Abuja when we return after this time out. Please stay with us.
With happy cover from Leadway Assurance, you'll be covered for, well, almost anything. From automobile cover.
Boys, play nicely.
To house. to personal cover, all with one single premium.
Play nicely with your brother. That's it, we're going home.
That was close.
Yes, luckily I have happy cover. Oh, I have happy cover too. Sorry about your house.
Actually, I have happy cover also, so... Get happy. Maybe it's happy. SMS happy to 22865 and we'll call you back. SMS now. Live happy with Leeway Assurance. Ensuring happiness since 1970. Coca-Cola?
Oh, it's happy hour. So, you want a free Coca-Cola, but you have to drink it here.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. Muslims have been reminded on the need to believe in destiny, which cannot in any way be circumvented as it is already ordained by Allah Most High. Imam of the Ansaruddin Friday Mosque, Maritime, Abuja, Ustaz Musa Olaofe gave the admonition during his sermon at today's prayers. Abdullah Musa Suleja has details.
Comment and say a lot of things that Islamic scholars say contradict the religion they profess. Imam Olaofe said Allah, the Supreme Being, had predestined whatever will happen to either individual or society. He said it is his wish that things are the way they are on earth, and none has the power to make them otherwise. The Islamic scholar said people find themselves in the state of confusion because they strayed away from destiny.
Every power of destiny belongs to Allah. It's the remote control of everybody's life. So the key of that one is not with anybody but Allah. And that's why I said, وَإِنْدَهُ مَفَاتِحُ الْغَيْبِ. The key of unseen. لَا يَعْلَمُهُ إِلَّا هُوَ. Nobody knows it but Allah. So he knows every one of us very well. He knows what he has written for us.
Some worshippers comment on the subject.
Majority of Nigerians, particularly our leaders, don't even believe in God anymore. We need to go back to God.
We are also being written to be Nigerians. If God has so wishes, I will have been maybe an Englishman, and so it is now duty bound upon us to all learn to live together because God has so chosen it like that for us.
The Imam called on Nigerians to work and pray for the unity and progress of the country. In Abuja, Abdullahi Musa Sleja, NTA News.
What future for the Lake Chad Basin? Let's get details from Asmao in NTA Sokoto Network Center. Good to see you, Asmao. It's over to you.
See you too, Elizabeth. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. Special Assistant to President on Administration Hajia Hajjosani says the joint project by wife of the President Aisha Muhammadu Buhari and the wife of Nigerian President Leila Malika Muhammadu Isufu is aimed at improving the lives of refugee women and victims of conflicts in Lake Chad Basin. She stated this while speaking at a dinner organized in honor of Committee on Advocacy for Refugee Women and Victims of Conflicts in the Lake Chad Basin by Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. Sheikh Muhammad Dati completes the story.
The three-day meeting held in Sokoto brought together members of Nigeria-Niger Technical Committee on Advocacy for Refugee Women children, and victims of conflicts in the Lake Chad Basin. Special Assistant to Nigeria's President on Administration, Hajia Hajusani, said the meeting, which had participants from Nigeria and Niger Republic, was aimed at coming up with a plan of action to salvage and assist refugee women and victims of conflicts in the Lake Chad Basin. She explained that the project was an initiative by the First Ladies of the two countries. She told the governor that the meeting held in Sokoto was fruitful, saying the joint project will focus on education, health, water and sanitation, among others. Governor Amin Waziri Tambol commended the joint project by Aisha Muhammadu Buhari and Leila Malika Muhammadu Yusufu of Niger Republic. He explained optimism that the joint project will better the lives of those rendered homeless by the conflicts in the Lake Chad Basin. In Sokoto, Shaw Mamadati, NTA News.
And that's our package. From Sokoto is back to Elizabeth in Abuja for more on Network News. Good evening.
Thank you, Asmao. Global tidbits, sports, and Saturday's weather. When we return after the break, stay with us.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
With heavy hearts but gratitude to God, the families of Unukonam Chibwe of Isieke Umweka Quarters and late Paul Okuma of Umodafe Quarters, all in Abuja Delta State, announced the painful exit of their beloved wife, mother, daughter, sister, and sister-in-law, Mrs. Angela Awele Unukonam, aged 45 years, on Sunday, 1st of January 2017, at UBTH, Benin City. She is survived by her husband, 3 children, aged mother, brothers, sisters, and in-laws. Funeral arrangements, 18th February 2017. Service of songs and wake by 4 p.m. at plot A43, Nzube Estate, Lokogoma, Abuja. 24th February by 10 a.m. Funeral service at St. Augustine's Catholic Church, Ibuzo, Delta State. Interment follows immediately after service at her husband's residence. May her gentle soul rest in peace. Amen. Dr. Inukonam Thomas, for the family announcer.
Okija Royal Cabinet and family of Igwe Dr. B.B. Ayokeke of Obahomo Numo Kija in Ihiala, Anambra State announced the last Tofala of our beloved Igwe, His Royal Highness Igwe Benedict Okeke JP, Eze Gedegum IV of Okija, CEO Beno Group, age 70. Sunday 19th February, Christian wake in his compound. Monday 20th, Pontifical Requiem Mass by Most Reverend Hilary Paul Okeke at his palace. Ofala ceremony continues till 25th, and on Sunday 26th, outage service at St. Patrick's Catholic Church, Okija. Announcer, Okija Royal Cabinet and Prince Ken Okeke.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. Now to Global Tidbits with Ogechi Paul.
Gynecologists and obstetricians have downed tools in